Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, all freshmen. Welcome to BINUS University International. My name is Juliana Berewot, but you can call me Miss Jube, and I'm from CIDER. What is CIDER actually? You are going to know in a short moment. Sorry for the background. You're going to know in a short moment. But before that, I would like to ask you first thing first. Anyone over here has got plan after you graduate? After BINUS, after you graduate from BINUS University, do you have any plan already? Please click reactions button if you have. Wow, so many has said yes. Work, 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 work. Okay, good. But before that, I would like to also ask you, anyone over here has got plan to become entrepreneurs? Click reactions if you have, if you want to become entrepreneurs. Whoa, so many. Oh, definitely. Good, very good. Jason, raise hand. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for your response. This is very good response. Okay, our today's sessions will be discussing our entrepreneurship journey with CIDER. This event will actually be divided into 3 sessions. The first one is sharing knowledge by Dr. Ari Margiono, CIDER manager, and questions and answer sessions. This is for the second sessions, and the Big 5 personality questionnaire. This will become our last sessions. And here we have Dr. Ari Margiono as our CIDER manager, and he's going to share his knowledge or entrepreneurship journey with CIDER. But before we go to that sharing sessions, I would like to share a short movie on CIDER activity. I hope this will give you some hints on our department and activities. Okay, I'm going to share the movie first. Wait, sebentar ya. Welcome to CIDER, Center for Innovations, Design and Entrepreneurship Research. Can you see it? Not yet?
No, miss.
Okay. Wait, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Welcome to CIDER, Center for Innovations, Design and Entrepreneurship Research. This is Kevin Susanto. He is the Chief Green Officer and Vigo and CEO Gula. He's also alumni International Accounting and Finance. Kevin Susanto, an entrepreneur who has received 71 billion rupiah from Jakarta-based venture capital firm Alpha JWC Venture. This is Michael Jovan Sugianto, co-founder Tani Hub Alumni Information System, an entrepreneur who has received $70 million from MIDI Ventures from Telkom Group in May 2021. All of you can be the next Kevin Susanto or Michael Jovan Sugianto through your learning journey with CIDER in BINUS University International.
anjing, ntar dah. Mau dibawa ke emergency.
Co-finder. Find coffee, find you. Coffee shops always full? Tired of going to the same coffee shops? Co-finder. Find coffee, find you.
This is Utama, just finished college and starting on his journey on selling chips. Problem is, no one's buying it. No exposure in the market means no sales. But what if he hired some help to spread the word? You know, social media influencers. This is going to cost him a lot of money, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. No. Wrong audience, wrong influencer, and wrong market equals no sales. So, what's a guy to do to easily and safely spread the word on social media? Introducing Influx, an application to get in touch with the right influencer at the right price. After that, you just need to create an account, start your ad campaign, fill in the marketing campaign details, and then we'll direct you to the best influencers for the job. And now, just watch as your followers, and of course, your sales rise through the roof. You can download it in the Google and Apple App Store.
With CIDER, you can make your dreams come true. Thanks for watching. So I hope that this kind of a short movie can give you a hint, some hints for our department, CIDER, and as well as our activities. And now we are going to hear more details on entrepreneurship journey from Dr. Ari Margiono, our CIDER manager. Dr. Ari, time is yours.
Okay, thanks very much, Bu Juliana. Let me share the screen first. Hang on. Would you be able to see this one?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good day. Thank you very much, Bu Jube, for sharing the video of the activities and opening this session today. Bu Jube has been focusing or has been dealing with entrepreneurship education. You're gonna work together with Jube on several classes and several courses related to entrepreneurship and related to starting up businesses courses. So I'm sure you're going to be excited, and it's going to be exciting as well to learn about how to generate a startup. Let me share a bit about what we have been doing and what we're doing in CIDER, Center for Innovation, Design, and Entrepreneurship Research. CIDER is a unit basically in BINUS International in Senayan that is specifically focusing on three things: focusing on entrepreneurship education, focusing on incubation, helping you to start up a new venture using a series of bootcamp activities. And the third one, which is I'm mostly doing in CIDER, is doing the entrepreneurship research, particularly or on social entrepreneurship and digital transformation area. So before we start, let me introduce myself first. Oh no, the picture is with mask as well. You can't see my face. I should change the picture. Sorry about that, because I was thinking that we could open the mask in class here, but apparently because of the health protocol, we have to use mask in campus as well. So it's safe to be in campus as long as you are vaccinated and wearing mask and comply to the health protocol here. So my name is Ari Margiono. Bu Jube has already mentioned my name earlier. I'm managing this unit. I'm the manager of Center for Innovation, Design and Entrepreneurship, CIDER. And I have a PhD from Queensland University of Technology on entrepreneurship. My focus is on social entrepreneurship. So I'm focusing on a particular part or particular area of entrepreneurship, which is specifically dealing with social, environmental, and doing good kind of activities. So if you are interested in setting up an enterprise that aims to offer a value proposition that helps societies or making environment becomes better and so on and so forth, you can talk to me, because I did a research on business models and on this particular area in social entrepreneurship. I've also been active in advising several institutions, including government, on how to set up a social entrepreneurship ecosystem in Indonesia. And now I'm doing research on this area in Southeast Asia region as well. So if you're interested in this particular area, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of resources that you can read, you can talk to, you can download, you can see on this particular area in this campus, in Senayan campus. I received my master's in University of Wales in United Kingdom. It was a tiny town called Aberystwyth. I don't know whether you can pronounce it or not, but it's Wales, so all of them are consonants, and sometimes it's difficult for people to pronounce it. It's a very tiny town, beach town, but it's a lovely town. Mostly I'm teaching master's degrees, so maybe I meet you in several entrepreneurship courses, but mostly I'm teaching in the evening and on Saturdays for master's degree students. So hopefully I'm going to meet you in several of the University of Newcastle classes, like business venturing, social entrepreneurship classes, and some of the new classes in University of Newcastle. So now, I know that you probably call people sir or something like that, but just call me Ari. It's okay if you call me by first names. I'm familiar with that. So it's okay for you to call me Ari. Everyone call me Ari. Irma call me Ari. Ibu Jube also call me Ari. Sometimes Pak Ari, but I think Ari is fine. But if you're not comfortable with Ari, you can always call me Pak Ari. You can always call me Mr. Ari as well. But don't call me Sir Ari. Why? Because I've never been knighted by the Queen. So I don't use sir. When I went to the UK, people will be shocked to hear you call me sir, because they probably thought that I'm a noble knighthood being knighted by Queen. Okay, that's a bit about me. Just call me Ari, Pa Ari, Mr. Ari is fine. Don't call me Sir Ari. And then Bujube in the video have shown that there are some alumni who studied in this campus, in our lovely Senayan campus, who are now become great entrepreneurs, received a lot of funding from Silicon Valley, a lot of funding from United States, a lot of funding from from other countries like Japan government and things like that, through their startup. You know, we know Tokopedia, we know William, but William was actually in BINUS long time ago. But Gula, Tiny Hub, Printers was all of them are startups that were generated by BINUS International alumni. Who wants to become like them? Who wants to receive funding from multi-billion dollars venture capital to start up a tech company? Who wants to be like them? I'm sure many of you want to be successful entrepreneurs, right? So it all starts with a small step. It all starts with a failure. It all starts with experimenting. It all starts with learning how to set up a business, learning how to set up an enterprise. You know this guy, Steve Jobs? I don't know whether you're very familiar with them, but I'm sure that you are using, some of you are using their products. You're using iPhone, you're using MacBook, you're using iPad, and so on and so forth. But did you know how Steve Jobs lived his life? Let me show you a video of how Steve Jobs lived his life. Can you hear the audio?
Not yet, Pak Ari.
No.
No audio.
How come? Why? No, just a second. Maybe.
You need some of my teams there, Pak.
I don't think so. I just need to switch this on.
Baik, Pak Muhammad.
Just a second. Let's check now. Hopefully it works. Yes.
When Steve Jobs was born, his biological parents had no choice but to put the baby up for adoption, and he was soon adopted by his new parents. Steve Jobs was a bright kid, but unfortunately he was bullied at school, so he preferred to spend his time alone. And he was bullied so hard that he wanted to transfer schools or he would never attend school again. And at his new school, he saw his first computer at the age of 12. And he took his first electronic class. Steve Jobs was a very smart boy, but he never liked the school learning process. He loved to learn in unconventional ways, so during his high school years, out of 4 GPA, he averaged a 2.65 GPA, meaning he wasn't a bad student, but certainly he wasn't the best. He was average. After he graduated high school, he went to Reed College, but Steve Jobs dropped out in the first 6 months. Even though he dropped out, he was unofficially attending classes that interest him, such as calligraphy. At that time, he struggled to survive. He didn't have a place to stay, so he slept on the floor of his friend's room and returned bottles for 5-cent deposit to buy food. It was one of the hardest periods of his life. He also spent some time backpacking around India, and that trip was one of the most enlightening experiences of his life. He dived into a spiritual quest of discovering his higher self and practicing meditation, and these powerful experiences helped him create one of the most iconic brands of all time. So Steve Jobs and his friend Steve Wozniak founded Apple from his parents' garage. In 10 years, Apple had grown from just 2 people in a garage into a $2 billion company. In 1984, Apple released their first Macintosh computer, but the sales were disappointing. So in 1985, Jobs was pushed out of his own company. At 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. He was disappointed, but despite everything, he later recognized this experience as a blessing in disguise. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. He even founded a new company. After Steve Jobs left Apple, the company found little success and continued to struggle. And with the success of Microsoft, Apple was on the verge of bankruptcy. But in 1997, Steve Jobs, with his creative ideas, rejoined Apple and saved the company. And the rest is history. Apple became the first trillion-dollar company. Unfortunately, Steve Jobs passed away in 2011, but left behind a legacy and inspiring words and wisdom. His success story is amazing. He was an average student, failed many times in his career, was rejected, fired, disappointed, but he became one of the greatest visionaries of the 21st century. So whenever you feel lost, confused, disappointed, embarrassed, look yourself in the mirror. You're not gonna live forever. Ask yourself, what can I do to make my life better? Stop living in fear. Get up and fight for your dreams. Find what is truly important to you and never doubt yourself. It doesn't matter what people tell you. You have the power to create the life you deserve. Remember one thing, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. So, what's your story?
Your time is limited. Don't live on someone else's life. Yeah, you need to find what you want. You need to make sure you understand what you want, and you need to make sure that happens. That's the journey that you're gonna have when you're studying in BINUS International, especially when you are starting to develop a startup or an entrepreneurial venture here. It's going to be a long and winding road. It's going to be tiring. It's not going to be an instant kind of thing. It's going to be a process. Look at this example, how Pinterest was started. It was started by frustration. And then, you know, a lot of things happened until, you know, the company was started. Look at how Airbnb started. It was started with broke students who can't pay to live in San Francisco. And then, you know, they start thinking about how they can, you know, change their life and so on and so forth. Start to develop new approaches in accommodations, and then, you know, Airbnb was started. But the journey is long and winding and very exhausting. It's something that is not an instant kind of thing. In fact, many of them successful after they are reaching the age of 30 and 40. So it's not in their 20s, but many of them are successful in the age of 30 and 40. And there is a research about this. that successful entrepreneurs are actually those who are in the age of 30 and 40s. Why is that? Because during the foundational years, if you will, the 20s, uh, the late 20s, the early 30s, the late 30s, those are the time when they build their experience, when they struggle, when they absorb the experience that they've got from the surrounding, when they develop network, when they work with other people, and so on and so forth, and then they reach the success in a year or in the age of 40. So don't give up. There's still a long way for all of you to be successful in life when you reach the age of 30 and 40, and set up your own successful empire, if you're a business empire, and so on and so forth. So many of this successful entrepreneur started with small things, started with their experience, started with, in the case of Steve Jobs, started with disappointment with life, started with being bullied or something like that. So started with somebody who is actually nobody or something like that, right? And then because they're very strong, determined, know what they want. All of them are they realize that they don't want to live someone else's life. They want to live their own life. They want to own their life. They want to decide what's good for them, and so on and so forth. And then slowly they're, becoming, a successful person. But it's not an instant thing. There are a lot of failure. In the case of Steve Jobs, he was fired. He was fired by Apple, the company that was, that was founded by him. He was fired by Apple, and then when the owners, the shareholders of Apple realized that without Steve Jobs they couldn't do anything, they hired him back. So it was something that was ironic, right? I mean, you start a company, you develop a company, and then you were fired by that company. So the journey is not smooth. And in fact, in entrepreneurship, in this domain, or in this world, the entrepreneurship world, failure is actually the name of the game. The more you fail, the better gonna be you are. So you need to embrace failure in this. Don't be afraid of failing. Here in this campus in BINUS International, particularly when you're doing this entrepreneurship journey, you are expected to fail here so that at the end you'll be able to be successful. So this is a place. This is a place for you to.
We cannot hear you, Ari.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Now
Okay.
it's clear.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Okay. Where were we? Which moment? So failure is actually the name of the game. Failure is actually the name of the game. So don't be afraid to fail in these courses. In fact, Bu Juliana, Bu Jube, Ms. Jube will be able to tell you that one of the criteria in scoring your journey in entrepreneurship is not about whether you are successfully developing startup or not, but whether you have learned to develop startup, whether you have learned to embrace failure. So don't be afraid of failure. I mean, you've seen Steve Jobs, you've seen example that we shown to you shortly, that that those people failed in the beginning. So don't be afraid about failure, right? It is actually the rebound that matters. It's actually the way you bounce back. It actually It's actually that kind of skills that you need to have here in BINUS International. The skills to bounce back, the skills to embrace failure, and then move on quickly to bounce back, to set up a new target, to set up new strategy, to set up new direction in your life, in your entrepreneurial life. So that actually matter here. And that's the thing that you're gonna learn in our classes. Those are the things that you're gonna experience in the entrepreneurship journey classes. So it's how do we rebound? It's about how fast we bounce back. How agile are we in embracing failure? That's the important thing. And the way we design your experience in entrepreneurship journey here is through pre-incubation processes. So these are the steps, these are the stages that you're gonna experience, you're gonna study here in BINUS International. The formation, the validation, but probably not yet growth, because the growth part is something that you will get once you graduated from BINUS International. Once you finish your study here, you'll be able to engage with the accelerator in BINUS or outside BINUS, because we also have several because we have also accelerator here in BINUS, and we work with several accelerator as well outside BINUS to help you to grow your startup or something like that. So it's pre-incubation processes that will help you to bounce back. That will help you to move on quickly, help you to, set up direction in your entrepreneurial journey. This is the pre-incubation approach that we're doing here. So we're doing teaching, we're doing learning, we're doing research, we're doing incubations, and basically we're doing matchmaking as well. Matchmaking in the sense that you probably want to meet your co-founder here in this school. You want to meet with your friends who are your potential co-founder in the future startup that you're going to set up or to develop. So that's going to be something that you will be able to do in this class or in this sessions in BINUS International. And this is the activities that we're doing. So there are several classes. In fact, we're also designing to help you to meet with master students as well. So in case you want to meet with your seniors who have a lot of experience in workplace, you should be able to talk with them as well in the scheme that we're designing at the moment. So hopefully by the time you reach that level, by the time you reach a certain semester, you'll be able to use that facility, the marketplace facility, for you to also, do talks and for you to, how do you say that, to meet with other people, meet with other students from different grades or different levels in BINUS Senayan. And there will be a lot of boot camps that you can join. We are developing a digital boot camps at the moment, so you can do a startup development while you are still studying in classes. So this is a digital boot camp, something that you can do outside classes. We're also preparing that for you. So for those of you who can't wait to start your entrepreneurial journey, you don't have to wait for the classes. You can enroll to the digital bootcamp, and in this digital bootcamp, you'll be able to, do entrepreneurial startup activities as soon as possible, even before the class is started or something like that. And these are the things that you're going to learn in the classes. So basically, you're going to learn idea development, you're going to learn problem identification, you're going to learn business idea prototyping, you're going to learn business design, you're going to learn business planning, you're going to have a lot of coaches as well to help you, you're going to have a lot of competitions to showcase your ideas. The best ideas, the best prototype will receive a funding. I mean, not real funding, but a prize,
Not yet,
a
Pak.
prize, not yet, a prize for you to how do you say that, to feel that you have won something. It's not the seed funding and things like that. We haven't reached that level yet, but hopefully in the future we can do that. And then at the end, there's going to be, business plan, transaction, deals, business validation, and so on. But there's a lot of things related to entrepreneurship subjects that you're going to learn in this process. And the process, as I've said earlier, is going to be non-linear process. So it's not something that, like, straight from point A to point B. It's going to be a long and winding, but it's a roller coaster kind of thing. But just like roller coaster, it's going to be fun. It's going to be full of adrenaline. You have to how do you say that? You have to embrace that. You're going to meet a lot of failure milestones there in the process, but you shouldn't be worried about that, because we're going to be there to help you, to guide you, to guard you, so that you'll be able to experience it successfully. So here we are, the team, the Center for Innovation, Design and Entrepreneurship team. My name is Ari Margiono, and then we've got Ibu Juliana, Ibu Jube, famous Ibu Jube, and then Indra. There's going to be a person or a team from CIDER who is going to be helping you to do startup development in boot camps. Indra is going to be the person who's leading that process. And we also have Nurlina. Nurlina is going to be someone to assist you in administrative purposes. So in terms of scheduling, in terms of paperwork and things like that related to your entrepreneurial journey and related to Center for Innovation, Design and Entrepreneurship Research. So these are some of the picture of the activity. You've seen the video. We have a very nice place for you to collaborate in B Garage. We call it B Garage. It's in the basement too, in this building. So once you have an opportunity to go back to Senayan, campus, pay a visit to the B Garage, because it is so nice that you want to be there the entire day. To close this session, to close what we have heard about the entrepreneurial journey in BINUS Senayan, I'd like to quote Steve Jobs. This is one of my favorite quotes as well, because I think it is so nice to know that even people as successful as Steve Jobs still think about failure, reflecting on his life. He said, your time is limited. Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the result of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. You might be wrong, but don't be afraid of failure, because what matters is actually how quick, how fast you bounce back and move on with your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pak Ari, for detailed, clear, and very encouraging sharing sessions for freshmen today. Although long, winding, and exhausting or tiring road, I believe that this kind of sharing sessions is very encouraging information for our freshmen who wants to become entrepreneurs. Thank you once again, Dr. Ari. Now, as I informed you today, we are going to have questions and answer session. For those of you who wants to ask related with your plan or your how do you say it? Your interest to become entrepreneurs, please do ask, raise your hands, or you can type in the chat box. Okay, we are so happy to help you to answer the questions. Pak Ari also, as well as we have Pak Indra over here. Anyone, you can ask questions related with the entrepreneurs. Gimana, how to start and how to start business since semester 1, semester 2, it's up to you. Yeah, anyone, please do so. Yes, we have Fian Martinez. Hi, Fian.
Hello.
Please turn on your mic. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Hi.
so much.
Yes.
So first of all, good afternoon. I'm Vian Martinez from the Business Information Systems strand. I would like to thank you for entertaining my questions, although I haven't asked them yet. But yes, what I wanted to ask for today is that as an entrepreneur, do you think we have the social responsibility to create businesses or to create values, visions, and missions that are according to the social issues right now in helping to tackle them?
Nice questions. Nice
Thank
questions,
you.
Fian.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ari?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I
okay,
can.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Finn. That's a very important question. One of the things that I always tell my students in master degrees, and even those people in the companies, is that we always live with a false mindset. The false mindset that we've got is that we always separate the business from the social life, the business from the environment, the business from the community, the business from the traditional, the business from societies. So we tend to separate them. But in reality, when we create a startup, the bedrock of the startup creation is basically solving society's problem, right? Many startups were started or are started because they want to address social problems. Let me give you an example of Gojek, for example. Gojek in Jakarta, in Indonesia, was started up because heavy traffic jam. And there's a lot of people who couldn't find work and they became the motorbike ojek. You're familiar with this, right? I remember that you're from the Philippines, right? Yeah. Yeah, but you're
Yes, sir,
familiar.
from the
I've been to Manila several times, and I've seen similar scenes from Manila and Jakarta. So yeah, there's a lot of people, traffic jam, and so on and so forth. And Gojek came to the market because they want to solve that particular problem. So every business was started to as a mission to solve social problems, but in the middle, along the way, sometimes they didn't realize that. Sometimes they're too preoccupied with the profit maximization things. And those who are preoccupied with profit maximization, like Enron, for example, or a lot of mining companies in the past, was not successful and tend to disappear because they were attacked by themselves within the company. The employee didn't want to work with them again because they felt violated by the owners. The government didn't support the company, and most importantly, the society thought that companies like this won't be able to help them. So why they support? So there's a lot of demonstration, a lot of attacks to the company, and so on and so forth. So my message is that when you're starting a startup or starting a company, do not ever think about the separation between business and society. You need to see those things, business and society, as a holistic thing, as two things that that gels together in your startups that you develop. And in fact, you should start with an intention to solve society problems.
I
Hopefully,
see.
it answered my question, Jen.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. That was such a
Okay,
great
thank you,
answer.
Fian. So it's inseparable between business and social problems. Okay, thank you very much, Pari. We are going to have 2 more questions before we are going to end our session today. We have from Calvin. Pari, in CIDER, are we going to learn on how to solve some business cases, just like in every business competitions? That is the first questions from Calvin IB. And the second one from Teresa Irena from Fashion Design. When first starting business, is it almost guaranteed that it will fail? And is there any tips or ways for us to prepare ourselves for failure? Those are the
good.
questions.
Very, very good question.
Yes.
Calvin, of course, that's going to be an opportunity for you to join some competitions, and not only in CIDER actually, but you're going to be supported by many faculties, many lecturers who are going to assist you or going to accompany you in business competition. So there's going to be tutorials, going to be approaches, going to be mentoring, if you will, on how to solve business cases as well. So it's not only in CIDER, but also across the faculties. So if you join a competition, obviously you get support from CIDER and from other faculty members or lecturers who are an expert in that particular area. Usually competition are specific in 1 or 2, 3 areas, right? So yes, don't worry about that because there will be support for you. Teresa, when we're starting company, is it almost guaranteed that it will be? Yes, mostly. There's a statistic which says that 90% or even more than 90% startup fails. So fail is the norm. Success is the exception of the norm, unfortunately. So don't worry about that, because it's like I said earlier, it's the rule of the game. It's the name of the game. Being failure is the name of the game in entrepreneurship. How do you prevent that? Don't prevent failure because you will fail. Embrace failure and move on. I think that's the most important thing. So be prepared to fail. That's okay. Fail is good. Fail is fine. And we've got method to reduce the effect of failure. Like, design thinking, we have prototyping, testing, and so on and so on. Those are methodology to make or to help you to have a fun failure, not a damaging failure, but a fun failure. But the mindset of entrepreneur or the mindset of people who are starting a business needs to be able to embrace this failure thingy. So don't be afraid of failure, embrace failure. We have methodology to make failure becomes fun, something like that.
Okay, Barry, thank you very much
Several
for embracing
questions.
the failures.
Yes, there are 2 other questions. Do we
Yes, we have
time
2
to answer this
questions.
one?
I think this is the last 2 questions. I'm really sorry, guys, but I'm going to read the first questions again. When we are starting?
3 questions.
Oh, 3 questions.
3 questions. There are 3 questions.
Okay, Ibu Irma. Okay, lanjut.
5 minutes. We answer.
Okay, all right. When we are starting a company, what is the best way to get capital? That's the first one.
The best way to get capital is to convince the venture capital, to convince those people who are going to fund you that your business is potentially successful.
Right.
How to do that? There's going to be a session for that. There's going to be pitching session. There's going to be a training for you to do pitching appropriately so that you'll be able to convince your funder, convince your investor that they can invest in you. They can trust you.
Right, right. It's getting hotter, Ari, over here. It's getting, we
Oh,
have
more
lots
questions,
of...
more questions. Yes, yes, yes.
Ibu Irma, I don't know when to end this one. Okay, what are the tips entering a market with high competition, especially in technological advanced era? How do you start up businesses show that we can offer something different than other competitors?
Good, very good question. A lot of people, when starting a business in high competition area, especially technology area, always think that making an application is actually the solution. So you always start, let's make an application, let's make an app for this. That is actually uh, not a mistaken approach, but that's not an appropriate approach, because everyone is thinking like that. You always need to start from the needs of the people. So if you want to enter the technology market, don't think about the technology, don't think about the application, think about the needs of people. Then think about what people needs at the moment that you haven't fulfilled, and then you can think about the technology to fulfill that need. That's
So
the
the
way to
needs is
enter
more
the market.
important. Yes. To
Yes.
find people's needs is very important. Okay. Excuse me, I want to ask questions. When we are starting some businesses, there is always problems between us. One of the problem is when we are lack of connections with others, or you can say you don't have lots of connections with friends out there. How do we solve that problem?
Hang out. You should hang out. Meet a lot of people. I think that's the only solutions that you need to have. Make friends with
Right.
other people. That's
Right.
the only way to do that. But don't worry about that as well, because in CIDER, Bujube has a project called Marketplace. It's basically a place where you can meet and hang out with people with similar needs on starting up a business, on setting up a company and things like that. So you can exchange idea, get to know each other. I know it's difficult today because you are working online. It's difficult to meet face to face. But
Yes.
but that shouldn't prevent you from making connection, make friends, and so on and so forth. That's one thing that you need to do. Don't think about the enterprise, or don't think about startup first. Just make friends with a lot of people, because who knows, one of your new friend will be your co-founder or something like that. So just make friends with a lot of people, hang out.
Okay, thank you, Mari. Hang out, guys, hang out. Don't study all the time. Okay, next one is talking about creative industry sector in Indonesia is certainly not free from all problems that need to be faced. The chairman of Quick Win 5 Super Priority Destination Team, who is also the former chairman of the creative industry in the National Economic and Industry Committee, Irfan Wahid, revealed 4 main problems of creative industry in Indonesia. These 4 things are the issue of quality of human resources, entrepreneurial knowledge, digital literacy, and access to capital. According from that, how we as aspire entrepreneurs solve that problem, Pari?
No, this is a very interesting question, but I can write a paper about this. Let's this is a very heavy question. There are a lot of things to be solved in this paper. I wrote several articles in the Jakarta Post touching upon some issues like digital literacy, access to capital, and things like that. If you're interested with this particular area, just Google my name, Ari Margiono, and look at my articles in the Jakarta Post. Some of them answering this question.
Yes. It will take 2 days to explain this one later on.
We can have a seminar about that.
Okay. This is from Stephen again. Maybe we think about the problem that people don't realize in everyday life and create an innovations, not just to create something out of feasible problems, because pretty sure big companies already have their eyes on them.
Well, who knows? I mean, originality does. People in the company sometimes are constrained with their day-to-day life and day-to-day bureaucracy. People like you who are more free and more imaginative, you have time to think, you have time to imagine, can be very original. So don't think about, people might have thought about that. Just if you have an idea, explore that idea, test that idea. If it fails, learn why did you fail, and then bounce back, move on. That's it.
Yes. Last one, Pari. Do we need to register to CIDER? Or is CIDER integrated into our program course? If CIDER is integrated in our program course, in which semester we will get this program?
I'll leave it to Bujube to answer this
sabar,
question.
Pari.
It's going to be integrated. It's going to be integrated in your course. So everyone will get Project Hatchery and Entrepreneurship Hatchery. So don't worry about that. Stay tuned in this channel. Stay tuned in this CIDER, announcement and things like that, and you get Project Hatchery and Entrepreneurship Hatchery enrollment. Even you can taste how it feels to start something, to develop something, to learn to focus on human values, to learn to focus on human problems and how to address needs, how to develop solution in this FYP program in the next few weeks. So don't forget to participate, get into the program.
Right.
Bujube will announce you on how to do that, and enjoy the activities, enjoy the failure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pari. Thank you so much for your clear and very detailed as well as encouraging informations. All right, guys. Now we come to our last session, and our last sessions for today is related with profiling your entrepreneurial profile that we are going to see. Therefore, I need your help to, excuse me, I'm going to share something first. Therefore, I need you to fill in the form over here. I'm going to put it in the chat box. It's about Big 5 personality questionnaire that can help us to profile your entrepreneurial skills later on. This will help us to help you, okay? To help you to develop your entrepreneurial skills, okay? Freshman leader, I need your help to remind the freshmen under your coordinator to fill in the link of Big 5 personalities link. Okay, I think that's all for today's discussion. Thank you so much, Dr. Ari Margiono, for very clear and interesting and encouraging explanations, as well as from freshmen who are very enthusiastic to join CIDER. Tanya, CIDER itu integrated ke ini enggak? So CIDER will attach with you within 4 years. No worries, later on we are going to give you further explanations. I think that's all for today's sessions. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Pari, for your information sessions. Stay safe, stay healthy, guys. Thank you. Dear
stay safe, stay healthy, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, please, freshmen, would you please copy the link over here, the Google Doc, for questions. Big 5 personality. Dear freshmen, dear leaders, I need your help to distribute the link later to the freshmen, okay? Thank you, everyone.